Morning, everyone. Thank you for making a value-based decision to join us. My name is Jermaine Parms. I'm Director of Diversity and Business Development here at NJEDA. Thank you for our second offering of Meet the Primes. We did have something similar, roughly almost 6 months to the day on February 17th, I believe. So this is the second offering. This will be one of many that we have to make sure that we bring the opportunities that we have available on this project to you to make sure that you're in the loop for possible opportunities. Just a few things before we get into the actual outline of the event. Just want to send out some thank yous. There's a lot of work that goes on to make these presentations possible, and there's a lot of dots that have to be connected to make sure that we have all of the parties in place. Especially on a project of this magnitude. So definitely want to thank our ACOM Tishman partner and for all their hard work. We want to thank the Southern New Jersey Development Council. Definitely want to thank our team here at NJEDA, from our D&I team to our communication staff who seems to work 24/7. We thank you for all of your efforts, and definitely our Wimport team and all of the people that are involved in this process. Additionally, we want to thank our chambers and other people that help make sure that we find possible vendors for the opportunities that we're presenting to you today and at other times when we do stuff. That's the African American Chamber, the Statewide Hispanic Chamber, excuse me, the Statewide Hispanic Chamber, the Asian Indian Chamber of Commerce, chambers in Atlantic, Camden, Gloucester, and Greater Vineland. We thank you, the New Jersey Veterans Chamber. We thank you as well. The Salem County Chamber, and a host of others, the Port Authority, our counties, and all the respective entities, Statewide Hispanic Chamber, that help us get this stuff out. We are recording this event, so if you've registered and you're not able to stay for the whole broadcast, you're able to watch it later. We will have Q&A towards the back end. We're going to block out some times. Please use the Q&A feature, and we will try to cover as much territory as we can and answer all of your questions in real time like we did before. And just to get started, we want to do an overview, especially if this is your first time joining us. We want to make sure that we're doing you some justice by giving you an overview of how we arrived, to our diversity goals and the things that we're doing on the project. A special diversity study was done by Rutgers University, so we could definitely make sure a project of this magnitude impacted the communities that we served and that it reflects the diversity of our state. This is a mission of our leadership collectively to make sure that we're bringing opportunities to the state of New Jersey, and by way of workforce and by way of using diverse vendors. So I'd like to, at this time, invite Gareth Middleton, Senior Vice President of ACOM Tishman, to just go over our program goals and the stuff that we have outlined on the project. So Gareth.
And hello, everybody. Glad to be here today. Second one of these. Just want to send well wishes to my colleague Flora Ramos, who can't join us today. She's a bit under the weather, and we hope to see her back soon. So we're thinking of her. She would be here to help us pull us together. So I also have on the call with me from ACOM Tishman, Rosanna Caputo, who is our commercial manager for the project and is essentially in charge of contracting and procurement for works. So again, my name is Gareth Middleton. I am what they call the project executive on this project and responsible for the overall performance of our services to the EDA for the program. So the program goals were set forth in the RFP that we responded to back in 2021, and we were ultimately awarded in July of 2021. And since then, we've been off to the races in establishing the program. We began our program in earnest in the field in early this year. January, we took possession of the site. January, February, we took possession of the site in Lower Alloways Creek Township on what's known as Artificial Island. The goals are pretty well known. They are They're a mix. It's kind of a mix. It's like a Long Island iced tea. It's got a little bit of everything. And we've got 15% woman and minority. It's a combined goal. We've got 25% for small business enterprises, and then we've got a veteran component of 3%, and then we've got an aspirational goal. And a lot of this ties into, we've got the local commitment that, in our PLA that we executed with the trades, Tishman executed with the Southern New Jersey building trades, identifies the local area, the local catchment areas being the five counties that define the lower end of New Jersey. And so we're focusing a good amount of attention on soliciting to businesses in those locales and going to contract with them. So far, we've had really good response. We have a team Tishman is providing construction management at risk services. And what that means is that we hold subcontracts with a variety of entities, from professional services level to vendors, direct purchases, as well as construction subcontractors. Those are what we call primes. We've executed 8 to 10 prime agreements. I think it's more like eight prime agreements, which you're going to see here and see some of those folks today. For what's known as Phase 1A or Parcel A of the project, which is well underway. I'm not sure, Jermaine, if we have any overview of the prior pictures, but we are well underway with full earthwork package ongoing now, and moving swiftly towards the completion of what we call L1 surcharge, which is a major milestone for the project. And we've begun driving piles. Anyway, so what we have so far, as I mentioned, we have our participation has been great so far. We've engaged with these firms that I've mentioned, namely for our Pearson joint venture, HC Constructors, South State Incorporated, Mount Construction, Weeks Marine. Let's see, I think we've got a couple more in there, MCPHEE Electric. And all those firms are obligated to attain these same goals that we are. So this is an aggressive program. It's an aspirational program, and we are filling it in like I said, in a hybrid fashion. We've actually done very, very, very well on both the small business side as well as the minority, women, and veteran-owned business. We are starting to chip away at some of at least on the professional services side, some of the disabled veterans number. And I think it's all well known. We've far exceeded our local business goals to date. So that's what I can add to that, guys. If you want to, I'm not sure what the next slide has, or if I went out of turn.
Yeah, no, you didn't go out of turn at all.
Yeah, why don't you go back to the slide that's just a couple before this, the one with the, yeah, here we go. So this would have been, yeah, this is a little out of order. So as I mentioned, mechanical dredging, Weeks Marine starting underway. So all of these firms here are going to have some opportunity, if they haven't already engaged with the vendor community, with the second tier level of vendors and subcontractors to fill out their plan. And again, with all of our bids that we give to these primes, we receive from them a plan. Plans are just that, they're plans, and they can change over time. So it's a fluid, it can be fluid in the way of this business. And some of these companies may not be purchasing, and you'll hear more from them in a minute, but may not be purchasing their vendor scope until further down the road. I can tell you, as we look ahead, the project, and again, if I had my colleague here from EDA on the project officer side, would tell you that the project has some really exciting potential to grow in the terms ahead, in the years ahead, even advancing in front of some of those dates you see below for some of the latter phases, and just as a testament to the interest that this port is getting from the market, from the global marketplace. So we will be advancing shortly some electrical work in the way of an electrical substation package to coincide with Atlantic City Electric's bringing service from over 12 miles away. So there are all these other vendors that are getting involved. Verizon is going to be bringing in some telecommunications service. So this is a new location. It's an island, and we're bringing a lot of effort. So the next package I would see is the substation, and then hopefully more to be revealed by the EDA in the coming months about other tenants. So I'll turn it over there to my colleague at Farrar Pearson.
Thanks for the introduction. Kevin Perret, the project manager for the Farrar Pearson joint venture. Got over 20 years experience in construction, project management, and site supervision in all aspects of construction, industrial, infrastructure, Port Authority work, residential, over the last 20 plus years. The scope of work for our project, for our contract is, first we have land work and marine work for this project. So almost everything we're doing on land, we end up doing on water too for water phases. So there's 5 phases, we'll say, in our scope. There's land 1, land 2, land 3, and then there's water 1 and water 2. So our land work kind of has to proceed before water work, just due to basically protection of the water line and changing the water line with sheeting run. So the initial scope of work that we start with is concrete pile installation. These piles are anywhere from 90 feet to 125 foot long, 30-inch by 30-inch concrete piles. We jet them in over 50% of the way down into the earth. Then we come back with a large hammer and drive them the rest of the way down till we have basically loads that we're looking for on these piles. After that, we have some grading between the piles. We install precast caps. This would be, the grading would only be on land and water. We're sending precast caps directly on top of these piles. We, in between, we do cut the piles. We survey the piles for location, see if we have any adjustments need to be made for precast concrete cap installation. Following that, some areas on land, there's a couple of locations. We have some RCP pipe, 54-inch RCP pipe that needs to be installed between a couple of the pile runs out from underneath the wharf structure. Then we proceed also with sheeting installation. This would be mostly from land, but there is some from water. So there's a sheeting basically separates the water work from the land work. It will say it's 60 feet in from that outbound side of the waterwork edge. And then we also have a sheeting line that's on the far south of the work that basically is a cable protection line run. There's some under river cables run across the Delaware River that these are protecting from any barges or equipment from spudding down in that area. Concrete and reinforcement installation. So after we install the sheeting, we have a concrete cap that we have to put on top of the sheeting. And then we also have to tie that sheeting line back to our precast cap. So there will be like a tie-in pour that's roughly 3 foot by 5 foot at each one of these caps. A concrete cap basically encompasses 6 piles, which are gridded at 10 foot on centers. For land, we have roughly a little bit over 1,000 piles on land to put in, and just under 700 on the water. We have an H-pile installation. This is part of the support of the RCP pipe that we're putting in. We also have a precast concrete cradles that we're installing on top of those H-piles, basically to support the RCP pipe also. Once our caps are in place and locked back to the sheeting, we tie in we put a precast plank on top. These are 16-inch thick concrete plank, roughly 6 foot wide, about 20 foot long, with reinforcements sticking out kind of in 3 directions. It would be pointing north and south along the structure, and then vertically up out of the precast. We have a cathodic protection insulation that is on the sheeting line. So after the sheeting gets installed, and we while we're doing our waterwork side, we will be putting cathodic protection on the sheeting. So this is at the top of the sheeting, roughly 3 feet below our concrete cap, and then also at the bottom of the sheeting, 3 feet above the dirt below the water, the mud line basically below the water. We have a miscellaneous steel. This encompasses some steel angle on the edge of concrete, and also some There's an expansion basically between W1 and W2, both land and water. Yeah, just basically steel angle between with a gap. We have marine accessory installation. This includes large bollards, 100-ton and 200-ton bollards. These are basically mooring bollards that large anchor bolts get cast into our concrete, and these bollards are basically tie-off points for the boats in the future that are ships that are going to be ported at this wharf. If you can scroll down a little bit on the, I think I'm missing a little bit there. All right, you should go back to last. I can just go through that. Also not shown on this, we have a deck, basically a concrete slab that we pour on top of that precast plank. It's 8 inches, but then it goes to a 24-inch thick on top of the caps. So it kind of infills above the precast caps and then also runs on top of the precast plank. That slab is basically make sure all wharf structure. There's also some precast fascia beams that are out on the water side to the west, parallel to the coastline. These are it's basically a wall that comes up. Eventually, this structure gets fill put on top, about 2 feet of fill put on top by another contractor after us. Possible subcontract opportunities we have available would be printing services. This is for plans. We get multiple new revisions come out. Look for large plans to be printed out, full sets, couple sets for our guys in the field. Office supplies, we have a trailer on site. We're actually looking to get a second one there. Water delivery, both for the trailer, also like palletized bottled waters for the guys. There'll be points on this job where we probably have 45 guys working on the site. Not something you're going to pick up in a pickup truck on a daily basis. It doesn't make sense. Fueling services, portable toilets, trailer cleaning, and then dumpsters.
Gareth, thank you for your commentary, and Kevin, thank you as well. As always, it's great to have the professionals that can explain this stuff at a granular level. I can assure you that I cannot explain this in the manner that you guys can. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for your time. At this point, we want to introduce Mr. Scott Handel from HC Constructor, and I'll let Scott cover what HC Constructors is up to as it relates to our project. Scott.
My name is Scott Handel. I'm a senior project manager at HC Constructors. A little about me: I'm a licensed professional engineer with over 30 years in the construction field. As far as our scope of work, or let me explain a little bit about HC Constructors at first. We've been around since 1985. We're a WBE and a women-owned small business as well. We have completed over 2,000 projects to date, mostly concentrating in the pharmaceutical industry, healthcare industry, utilities, and also for higher education. To take you through some of our concrete package that we have for this job down at the Windport, the spillway foundation, actually, as we speak, we are pouring approximately 100 cubic yards of concrete there right now. Hopefully all is going well. I know the weather is not cooperating 100%, but fingers crossed. In addition to that work, we have the water tank foundation and some additional concrete pads for both utility and security booth and some electrical concrete pads. In addition, we'll be furnishing and installing a 4x6 security booth. So our subcontractor opportunities we'd be looking for is dewatering, trucking. We're always looking for trucking, especially in something like this type of job, because it is a significant distance from our home office. We're always look for fencing contractors, whether it be portable temporary fencing or a permanent installation. Also look for concrete flat work such as sidewalks and curbing. Landscaping is something we typically sub out, and then also rebar depending upon the site location. We also entertain rebar subcontractors.
Well, Scott, thank you. Glad we were able to have you join us live. We definitely appreciate having you. At this point, I would like to ask Max McPhee from McPhee to join us.
Hello, my name is Max McPhee. I'm with MCPHEE Electric. We're currently performing the electrical package, and good timing for this meeting for everyone, as we just executed our contract for the project recently. So we are very early on in the process of starting to get all of our subs in order and material procurements done. Just a little background about MCPHEE. We were founded in 1974, and we are a turnkey electrical contractor that can do EPC, engineer, procure, construct services, design assist services, prime construction, which is what we're doing here for the electrical package, and also just typical electrical subcontracting. Markets we serve: utility, substation, high voltage transmission, high voltage distribution, commercial, industrial, critical power systems, and the wireless and cellular markets. Essentially, if it's got an antenna or a conductor in it, we pretty much do it all. So for this scope of work, our scope is to excavate and backfill for all the electrical duct banks around the perimeter of the station, as well as the high mast lighting foundations themselves, and the poles and fixtures. So if you think about it in terms of something that we're all probably pretty familiar with, it's almost like stadium lighting all around the perimeter of the site. So we're doing all the foundations for those lights, as well as installing those lights and buying all the materials. Additionally, around the perimeter of the station for all these duct banks, we're furnishing and installing all the electrical manholes, specifically the distribution vaults and communication handrail holes and raceways. Furnishing and installing all the concrete duct banks, as well as the regular electrical non-concrete duct banks. Talked about the high mast lighting, as well as navigation and aviation lights, and dolphin walkway lighting. Furnishing and installing all the power distribution equipment, power devices, and feeder cables, as well as the entire communication equipment package and fiber backbone cabling throughout the site. So we do have a lot of subcontractors that we'll be working with to execute the project. MCPHEE will be self-performing the electrical package, but we're still early on in getting our subcontracts out. So we are looking for contractors to execute the drilled shaft foundation scope for the high mast lighting, excavation, trenching and excavation for the electrical duct banks themselves, concrete forming and pouring of those duct banks, as well as concrete material procurement. Even though we do all the turnkey electrical work, we are also interested in communication contractors that are interested in fiber splicing. We also will be going out for rigging and crane services, specifically for those high mast lights. We are probably pretty early into that process, but if someone is interested in that, we'd certainly be interested in talking, specifically if they had laydown space as well. That work is probably scheduled to start in about a year. And then just some general things: construction equipment services for pieces of equipment that we'd use on site, trailer job site services, generator and fueling services. We'll have a temporary generator out there for construction power. Electrical gear and communication distributors, or any electrical commodities. We'd be interested in talking with any of you vendors out there, as we have just started a lot of our procurements. And then QA/QC testing and inspection services as it relates to concrete specifically, as well as electrical testing for high voltage cables, high pot testing, that sort of thing. So that is a rundown of everything that we're looking for at this moment. But that is a pretty inclusive list of what we got going on.
Thank you again for joining us. I want to introduce at this point Mount Construction. Do we have Mr. Maffei available?
Yes, right here.
Hey, Doug, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. And at this time, I will let you cover, Mount, who you guys are, what you're doing on the project, and, how it relates to possible opportunities for the people that we have tuned in. So thank you, Doug.
Great, thank you. Great to be here. Great to have this opportunity to kind of showcase, what we do and as a company and what we're doing for the project. Moment about Mount, essentially a heavy civil contractor. We own a quarry, we own and we have diving services, material disposal, and container disposal. We have a pretty wide profile. A little bit about me, over 30 years experience heavy civil, working for different agencies in the Northeast, registered professional engineer. We're, like I said, we're excited to be here. In terms of the scope we're doing, working in Parcel A and Parcel C. So Parcel C, we're actually, as we speak, installing the berm, big circle berm and the outfall structure. So the material from the berm is coming from the Parcel A area. That will be done between June and July. And then the Parcel A, all that drainage and the drain structures will be, I believe, the end of this year and into next year. And that it's what's not listed there are the trench drains and the fire hydrant system, the loop, the water main loop, as well as the aggregate base and water storage tanks. So these two possible needs are related to the XBEs and specifically disabled veterans. So the outfall structure has a structural steel component. So if reaching out to the group, if disabled veterans or any other XBE is capable and interested in that work, please contact me. As well as the concrete footing that sits on. So we have an XBE for the rebar, but currently no XBE for the forming or pouring. And any other interested party, just let me know, reach out to me. Very appreciated.
Listen, and that's fantastic. I do know that we have Jeff Cantor here on behalf of the New Jersey Veterans Chamber. Thank you for joining us, Jeff. So, Douglas, thank you again for your time. We appreciate having you. Again, it always helps to have the professionals here to explain exactly what's going on and how people can be involved. So thank you again. At this point, I would like to introduce Mr. Andrew Shaw. Andrew is appearing on behalf of South State Contractors, who is also, of course, on our project. So, Andrew, I'll let you jump in from here. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm here representing South State General Contractors. We're a heavy highway and civil engineering constructor, been in business since 1971. We're on site already. And we are it's excavating, placing soil and moving soil around for surcharge purposes from the confined disposal facility. We have a monitoring program for the compaction to the specified density, and then we'll remove the surcharge to the proposed subgrade and rough grade the area, and then install final aggregate base course to the final grade and prepare for the next steps in the project. So since we're on site and already underway, we have subcontractors for, diversity subcontractors for, and we're pretty far along meeting our goals. However, if anybody wants to reach out and, propose for their business, we're open to receiving that information. And these are some of the possible opportunities. Thank you for your time.
So Andrew, thank you. And everyone here, you can see what you have in front of you. You know, opportunities are multiple and various, and some stuff comes up on a project as a general condition. So there might be some stuff that we might not have encountered yet that could be something. So I'm saying that to say, make use of all of the opportunities you see, but still make valuable connections, because there are general conditions and other stuff that pop up, on a very common basis. We were able to pick up some businesses, especially some XBE businesses that do cleaning, some communications work and other things that have arisen. So, make use of the info you see, and for people that are not seeing something that they could connect with, please don't be discouraged, because there are multiple and various things that are needed that come up almost on a weekly basis. So, just make sure you check in, and we'll be providing the information later on how you make direct contact. At this time, I would ask Mr. Alberto Saavedra on behalf of Weeks. Alberto, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm with Weeks Marine, obviously. I've been with the company for almost 20 years. We are a marine construction company. We have all aspects of marine construction. Weeks Marine, a little bit more information on them is that they've been around for over 110 years, going strong. We are in all aspects of marine construction and a few other things that we have in our arsenal here. As far as the scope of work that we have upcoming for the New Jersey Wind Port is the removal of existing broken pilings and the existing rock armament we have to take off and recycle. We are going to move that rock armament to a set location on the project site to be recycled into another aspect of the project. The pilings themselves, the broken pilings, hopefully they're not all broken. We'll remove all those, put them on barges and barge all the oversized debris and move all that debris to our Bridgeport off-site location. And then it will be trucked, moved over to a disposal site for proper disposal. The second phase of our portion of the project is the dredging of the berth dock. We're going to remove all the excess material to a set template, which is designed by you guys. And we'll move out all that material to an on-site holding facility to be used also for another aspect of the project. Next slide. For our subcontractors, possible subcontractors possibilities is obviously everybody needs dumpster services. Debris removal from our WMI off-site facility. This is our pilings, all the oversized debris that's going to be moved over to Bridgeport, New Jersey location. We do need some trucking to move that debris to proper disposal areas. A turbidity curtain installation and management. That's one of the requirements for our project, as a turbidity curtain to be around our machine so that will contain all the unnecessary material that goes inside a water column. The 30-inch ID HDPE discharge pipeline, fusing, construction of, and install at the shore location. That's the line that we're going to use to pump the material that we dig out to the holding site on site right there. Obviously, porta john services, bottled water, a temporary field office was also needed. And when we're moving the rock, the armament off of there, we are looking for a articulating truck that can pick up the material and then transport it to the holding facility on site there, which we're hoping to have started somewhere between July and August.
Well, Alberto, thank you again for your time. We definitely value having you here on behalf of Weeks, so people know about your participation and how to connect for possible opportunities. Yeah. So real quick, I've been passing off, but this is a quick moment where I don't pass off. In the interest of just making sure, and that I'm very grateful to see that we have a ton of firms that are putting their information in the chat, a ton of firms that seem to be diverse firms. So you're certified by someone, which we definitely appreciate. We see that a lot of firms are certified. We are looking for diverse firms for these opportunities. In our outlined XBE category, minority, woman, veteran, small business, service disabled, veteran as well. And we know that some of the firms here are probably certified. Some are probably certified by the state. Some might be certified by the Port Authority. You may be certified by the NMSDC, the National Minority Supplier Council, and the Women's Business Council, and as it goes on. But we will always advocate for a business, if you are a state of New Jersey business, to be certified by the New Jersey Department of Treasury. That cost is waived. There is no cost. It just costs you a little bit of time and effort. If you are certified, that will go a long way, especially if you're certified by an agency like the Port Authority, or one of the aforementioned agencies that I mentioned, or another agency additionally like New Jersey Transit, or the SBA. That will go a long way in helping you towards your state certification. Of course, that you can show that you're verified by another agency, but take the time, if you have not been certified by the state of New Jersey Department of Treasury, to apply. It helps your footprint. Certified firms here know how much of a haul it is to do the paperwork and to do the field visit for some of the organizations. But I'm always an advocate for getting as many certifications as it makes sense. If you are a veteran service disabled small business, you should be certified as a veteran service disabled small business. If you're a minority woman business, if you're a small business, but you also fit into another category, please do yourself a service to utilize the New Jersey certification. The link there will take anyone that is looking to inquire about the certification process to the website. It is online now, even though they are, Treasury still does accept the paper applications if you choose to submit it that way, but largely I would say 80% of it is done online now. Basic documents, for beginner businesses that might not know, a lot of small businesses don't have their articles of formation and all of the stuff that you need to go through the audit process. Remember, you're verifying to an agency that you own, operate, and control the business. A lot of businesses start, it's one person, you say, hey, it's just me, I'm a single person LLC, and you don't do the outline of structuring the business in a manner that lets someone know who owns the business and operates it. Common things they ask for, business tax returns, who are the principals as it relates to your relative experience on how to run that type of company, how does it fit into your scope of work and things that you've done. Just common documents that a lot of the agencies will ask you for, whether it's on the public side or on the private side. These are the things that let any auditor know how your company is structured. On the how long time is definitely, I want to commend Treasury because they have an avalanche of certifications that have come in, especially since the process doesn't cost anything anymore, but it's averaging roughly 45 days to get an answer. So it's a little time consuming, but due to the amount of applications they're getting, especially with people that are getting certifications for different reasons, cannabis and other stuff, 45 days is not doing bad. So if you are certified by another agency and not certified by the state, do yourself a service. If you're an entry-level business, you might be tuning in and you're looking to get certified, you should apply. All right. We can go to some Q&A, see some stuff that's come into the chat. So I saw some stuff come up about goals. Yes, at some point, we'll be outlining how we're doing with the goals. It's still very early in the project. We're not doing bad. We're doing okay, but we're not by any means taking our foot off the gas in terms of trying to reach our targets and exceed them. You know, we're in touch with all of the places that we need to be in touch with to find people. If anyone has encountered me here personally, you know, I'm very accessible. If you need to reach out to me, call me, email me, etc. I will get back to you and talk to you about your concerns, or if I need to assist in some way, and that will continue. I didn't see my personal information there, but my email address is jpharmes@njeda.com. All right, so let me see what we have here that we might be able to cover. Some of these questions may be technical, and I would defer to some of our parties here that could answer some of these questions. Do we still have Gareth here?
Yes, I'm here.
Gareth. So Gareth, there might be a few questions in the Q&A that might be something that can be answered from your end because they're coming more from.
I've been looking at them. I would say if I went from some of them seem more policy oriented to me. I've tried to answer a couple about the county. Someone asked what designates or what defines local.
Right.
I put that one back in there. There's a question about facilities, building the facilities for the marshaling. That is a tenant. This project is signed an agreement with Orsted and PSC&G to be the tenant of the port when it becomes operational in 2024. So that question about facilities and future work for the marshaling port would probably be best given to those entities. There's a question about that appears to be a prototypical wind type. I can't comment on the technology of the wind turbines. Transparency, again, we report to the agency each month. I don't know if the agency, you mentioned, Jermaine, that you're looking to sort of maybe do a dashboard or something along those lines with the reporting. I think that's what.
Yeah, as we get more stuff in, because at this point we're still waiting for some of the contracts to be worked out.
Yep.
Between primes and subs, so we don't want to jump ahead of ourselves. For those that may not know, each of our respective primes as part of the process have to give us a diversity outline on how they intend to utilize diverse firms and help us reach our goals, and that is ongoing and continuous. Sometimes we're not able to reach a vendor for some things that are beyond our reach. Maybe it's pricing or something else. But we want to solicit as much as possible so we have the opportunity to augment. If we lose a potential XBE candidate, we want to have another one queued up that could be a possible participant. So we still stay in lines with the goal of the project respectfully. I know
there's been discussion about a newsletter being issued on behalf of the project, which might touch on some of those things, right? So
correct. So once we get enough data and information in, to produce a newsletter, that also would be something that we will produce. So the information and some of these questions that are being asked will reach the respective communities. So I know that somebody asked, how do you actually get in touch? We will be posting the email. All of the emails will go to the info @ which is being monitored. And that information that's in front of you is what you utilize to reach any vendor that you saw here today. If you want to reach out to anyone specific, please use this info @ njwindportcm.com address. And that is continuously monitored. You will be filtered into that, and then that will help you be scheduled accordingly instead of everyone trying to scramble about and reach individuals. We will make sure that you are directly in touch with the intended parties that you're trying to reach. We do not and ever want the black hole of people trying to reach out and not getting a response, or trying to reach people, sometimes connecting the dots because people are on site or on a project. If you've ever been to Salem, it's, even the connection and trying to get some people on the line can be a little tricky because of the area as it's being developed. So, this info at Wimport is the way to go. It is being monitored. Please feel free to use it and reach out to the intended parties. And I gave you my information. If some reason at some point, some time goes by and you do not get a response, please feel free to reach out to me and make it aware to me, and I will connect the dots accordingly myself. We want to thank everyone that took time out to join us for the presentation, all of our respective partners, our chambers, definitely our strategic partner, the Southern New Jersey Development Council, and everyone at EDA behind the scenes, and everyone at AECOM Tishman. Thank you again for joining us.